Okay. So what we're gonna start with today is a brief update. The program team is working with utilities separately to support pilot implementations, and utilities are at different stages of uh, uh, that pilot work. It's very exciting. We're finalizing assessment tools. I'll show you some examples of what we're doing. Uh, we're preparing guidelines for methodology that we originally thought would be documents, and started moving towards the idea of having videos instead, because people prefer to just go to YouTube and, see how things are done. And then we're also preparing and finalizing a marketing video. We have gone through a couple of iterations, and of course, the initial versions were too geeky and needed to be adjusted for general audience and for, quote, normal people. And so we're working on that as well with Jackie and Zanetta and Dan Ott and Sam Paskey participating. So we've been, I'll talk a little bit more about that when it comes to the media library. So we're currently, just to show an example, working on the guidelines in the video to show how, the business process assessment. These yellow assessments and blue are sort of activities, and providing some ideas on how to conduct these data collection with interviews and workshops. These are just examples of stuff that we're doing for the assessment. We are preparing dashboards that can be used to summarize the results and also identify some opportunities for improvement, so that people have a good way to report on the overall maturity. This is for documentation on the criticality and challenge in different things. Blue to show where we are, and orange line to show where we would like to be. So this would be input for then preparing the work for improvement. Similarly, a dashboard for setting goals and metrics that allow people to see where we are right now. These are just dashboards. This is, that I'm showing the current condition where the to be in orange, different analysis for what the improvement gap is, and what is the importance of things, that different efforts that could be done. And we put together a group of folks who are going to be doing the beta testing. I'm going to be releasing the first version of the template, the first sort of mature version for the template for business process assessment, a blank template that would then be used. This is just showing what examples look like. These dashboards that I just showed you are actually in this spreadsheet, and then you would pull up a blank spreadsheet and work on that to fill in the information. And also this is a PowerPoint presentation that explains how to go about business process assessment, and that will be turned into a movie. As far as pilots, we put together a workspace that includes different subfolders for the assessment tool templates, for coordination, for some support materials, and then workspace, place for guidelines, and then very importantly, folder for utilities. So if we look at folder for utilities, each utility has its own subfolder. So in that subfolder, we're going to put together, we're going to, the program team will work with Great Lakes in this case to store the information about the pilot effort. If they generate business process models in BPMN, they will be stored here and in PDF as well. The assessment tools, the ones that they're using would be there. We have some really good stuff that Patrick has shared. So, for example, if we look there, he has shared the information about improvement efforts that have gone that they have gone through at Great Lakes. These are really great examples. And at our next December meeting, Patrick will lead us through a presentation to show the things that they're doing at GLWA, and also to talk about their pilot efforts as well. So that will be.
I don't mean to interrupt, but do the individuals in this meeting have access to those presentations? Can they see them if they want?
Yes. Is that okay?
Okay. I just wanted to. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure they could.
Yeah. They give me just a second. Yes, everybody has access. This is in the WISE folder. So people who don't have access to this should let me know, because I gave everybody who asked for, unless there are new members, everybody has access to the web_wise root folder. That gives them access to all the other folders. So in this case, this is under subfolder 2022 pilots, utilities, then it's Great Lakes Water, and then it's Patrick reports. And this is really one thing that I would like to underscore. These types of things that people have shared, their own, they have previously shared their own strategic asset management plans, their CIP documents, their condition assessment methodologies and matrices. We would really like to revive that effort. And so when people go through pilots, to be posting, their charters, their examples of models, so that we can have case studies that are useful for everybody. There are some topics that are of very broad interest that it'll be really great to have, to have more shared artifacts. So, but you'll hear, this stuff is very interesting, but you'll hear it live with the sound and video a month from now. So it's just an example. And so for example, we're still at GLWA, we created a folder where there will be a place for their assessments. If they're going to be doing assessments on business process and technology, change management of people, they would be posting them to these subfolders so that full information is there. And in the at a root folder for their, they would have again these folders and subfolders. In this spreadsheet, I'm going to be putting links so that they can have as far as project management, just saying start, finish, and just ideas of schedule. I'll stop here to see if there are any questions about what I've been showing and talking about. Are there any questions?
No hands are up, Cello.
Okay, so we've already, I think, shown what will, be in their. Well, actually, we haven't gone to a pilot. So in their in the folders that we created would be the models for as is, to be, assessments, and in PDF. So as far as assessment tools, for example, here there will be their assessment tool for business process and technology. So which means that we will provide a template that is blank with their name, where they will then fill out. So the spreadsheet, that's how they're going to get all those dashboards and stuff like that. And as I mentioned, I'm excited that from several utilities, we have people who have agreed to be in the beta testing group. These are the latest versions of the spreadsheet, for example, for business process and technology. I'm going to send out to the beta testing team today, and the blank template and the videos and so forth. Again, I don't understand. This is sort of to communicate this thing. There are some examples of dashboards. This is the one that kind of summarizes the information from documentation, maturity, complexity and risks and participation and impact and business management practices. These things are going to be generated from these assessments. So on our overall picture, where we started with business processes and technology, so that we can see where we are and where we want to be for each utility, for their pilots. So that is and then later, when we will expand this to change management organizations and people, so that you can have a full-blown things. So let me talk. So this is about the assessments. I see. Okay, that's. So this is about the assessments, and I want to briefly talk about the media library. The videos that we're planning are going to cover, an overview. Section 1 will be just general overview and introduction. Section 2 will be more sort of concepts and framework for people who are new to the projects to understand what the thinking is. And then, most importantly, specific videos to help to be serve as documentation and guidelines for each one of these steps, for preliminary planning, for reviewing the scope of improvement, for different assessments that we have, for system modeling and design. For example, we already have a lot of stuff on the developing business model as is. We have guidelines from the previous phases and stuff like that. But we want to have a media library when people can go and get videos for each one of these things and get quickly up to speed and get some help. So, and all this is posted to our knowledge base. Right now, this is kind of work in progress, but as things are published, you'll be notified. And these are, for example, in section 3, it'll be for each one of the phases, there'll be videos talking about it. Later, we're going to be adding videos about case studies as well. So I've kind of been speeding through this, and let me just post in the chat line. We're going to stop briefly for questions. Did everybody receive the just now the notification for
yes,
the link to the Mentimeter?
Yes, and Mark has his hand up as well.
Okay. Yes, Mark.
Yeah, hi, Cello and Scott. Thank you, Cello. Thanks very much for that rundown. I think we have a number of people that were joining. Obviously they probably were coming from other things and other meetings, so we might want to just take just a minute and just kind of summarize what you covered so far. And then the other thing I was going to suggest is that, and I'd be happy to help with this, maybe we can kind of put together a, generic tree that shows, how to get to the different things without having to have all the specifics, and I'd be happy to help with that.
Okay, so when you say how to get to different things, are you talking about the content of the knowledge base or?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the generic of how it's structured, and then that would obviously help people find it. And I'd be happy to put something like that together, a couple slides on that.
Okay, okay, that'd be great. Okay, are there any other questions or comments? So for those who came in a little bit late, we have been recording this session, and we went through a brief update of the status where we are and talked about the workspace for pilot implementations. And it was like a quick drive through or drive by through the knowledge base, just to kind of give people a sense that there's a lot of stuff there. A few words on the WISE media library. And now we're going to have videos that help people with the methodology. And now we are at the interactive exercise about getting some feedback on the pilot on the challenges that people are facing in their. Okay, so I see that
The link is in the chat line.
the link is in the chat line, and I see that people are starting to post comments. If you have trouble accessing the Mentimeter, please let me know, and I will resend the link. But I will let you see. Does somebody have a hand up to?
No.
Okay, we have 4 people. We have 4 people who have provided feedback. We're gonna wait a minute for people to. I see we have 8 people now, so if it keeps going like this, it'll be great. Mark, your hand is up.
Yeah, and just while we're waiting for folks, I thought I might mention if you encountered an obstacle, and I'm not sure if you have this in your Mentimeter in the next question, but if you did encounter an obstacle and you were able to get over it, that would also be useful information too in terms of what was the obstacle and then how did you overcome it. So even if you've gotten by the obstacle, it would be good to know that you ran into one, and then let us know, what things you're able to do in order to go through it, around it, over it.
So we're gonna have the follow-up questions will be to find out what the program team can do to address these. We have 2 slides on that.
Sounds good, Shell. Thank you.
And that's the slides 2 and 3. And also I will be using this feedback, these cloud things that you're entering, to develop a set of action items. So sometimes it's a little bit easier. For example, a comment user friendliness, and these are anonymous. For the comment of user friendliness, it would be helpful if it's a little bit more specific. Somebody says, whether I should be more user friendly, or Scott should be more user friendly, or some tool, how, so that we can. It's just the tools are cumbersome to use, difficult to navigate. Okay.
Is there an app for that, Cello? Something that makes this more useful to people?
I would definitely pay for an app like that for myself.
Okay, how's it going, Cello? Do you have enough comments?
We have 18 comments, so
that's a lot.
So that's good. And we're gonna move to the next slide that I'm gonna present. And so you can this is so that the program team knows what would help. How can we help? Is it, with preliminary planning or charter development? And then on the left side, you don't need help at all. And on the other side, this kind of help from the program team would be very valuable, so that we can understand how to structure our support, what can be done. So we'll just wait for folks to kind of vote on this. Okay, we've got the first one. Results are coming in. So that's really helps us understand how to organize our resources and how to prioritize our stuff. So we're going to use your feedback to prepare a list of proposed action items, and then get back to everybody and say, well, these are, things that we can be doing in the next few weeks to start addressing these concerns. We're getting a very good response here. We've got 19 already, and wait just another minute. Okay. 20. Give it just one more minute. 21. Excellent. That's very nice. That's very nice. Okay, okay, and we'll move on to the last one. To the next slide, which is really just your suggestions of what we can do to help you with the pilots, so that we can, we're trying to figure out how to best assist you. So any comments you have here will be very helpful for us. And after this survey, we'll go to open discussion. We're almost on within our original time that we've planned. Okay. Excellent. Okay, excellent. We will be responding to these things. Okay, that's good. Let's just wait a couple of minutes to collect this information. Specific tailored training and assistance from program team. I will send out emails to representatives of utilities, and to start organizing such training specifically in areas where there's need. We're working on the step-by-step guide as well with the beta testing team. In addition to engaging with utility staff, consider ways to help utilities engage with local consulting resources. We would be delighted to do this. So I think I'm responding to this comment. We can, maybe preparing like a template for a scope of work for your consultant, because you will know which consultants you like. Maybe it's easiest to put together, you know, if we give you a template for a scope of work for a consultant, then you can use that as to include it in programs that you already have going, or put it out, or RFP or whatever else. Communication language or online interpret.
Am I the only one having problem hearing Cello?
Yes.
I can't hear.
Mark, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I was also going to mention too, we might be able to include some things on what type of expertise they might be looking for when they do the selection in addition to the scope. Because you and I and Scott and maybe some others have a fair amount of experience soliciting consultants and proposals. So I think we could do some pretty good work there in terms of, you know, what type of experience, as well as an example scope of work.
Okay, that's good. That's excellent comment. So scope and then qualifications and criteria, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that.
Anybody else having a hard time hearing Cello? It's coming through fine for me.
I can hear fine.
Okay, if anybody's not
I can
hearing
hear
me, sorry, you can raise your hand. I'm not sure what to do to help, but you know, we will provide the recording. I'm sorry if, you know, if it's on my end. So we have 15 things. We've had it for the last couple of minutes. And I will conclude the presentation, and I will send you back the I'll send back the have I stopped sharing?
Yes.
Okay,
No.
good.
Actually, the recording's still going.
No, recording is still going, but I've stopped sharing, right?
Yes, you stopped
Yes.
sharing.
Or sharing my screen. Okay, so we're in the open discussion now. So let's see if people have any comments, or beyond the comments that we've had, you know, collected through the Mentimeter, or ideas or questions. Okay.
Yeah, there's no hands up or anything right now, Cello.
Okay. So just one more time, are there any other concerns or questions that you would like us to address? If not, okay, we have one hand up, I think, right? Patrick.
Yep. I never use that, the hand up thing. That works very well. Anyways, can you send the link to that database again to everybody so they have it? I'm having problems at the GLWA side. I'm trying to connect one of our IT guys so me, you, and him can sit in there and figure out how to
Yes.
keep us in, right? Because it lets us in for a while and then kicks us out. So
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up. We've had a number of cases with a number of utilities, and it's very consistent, the story. What happens is that typically when your IT department runs a security patch, they change some things. So very often links that used to work before are no longer working for some people. So if that happens, please let me know. There are a couple of ways I can share the links with you and provide you access. But when that is when you cannot access these materials, please let me know immediately. And usually it works best. Sometimes I just resend the link and it starts working again. But in several cases, we had to sit down with a person from IT and then resolve the problem in a call with the let's say it's Patrick. Patrick, his IT person, and myself would be on the call, and we just get it resolved. It's sort of out of my hands, but when your IT department perceives me as a sort of like an unfriendly a person or a website, that they it just needs to be adjusted on your end, and not much I can do about that. Any other ideas or thoughts? Okay, I will stop the recording then. We're 2 minutes